August 11th, 6:32 a.m. and haven't taken any trades yet. I've been at the screen for about an hour. We've had these big sell-offs here starting at about 4 a.m. So major supply coming in here. Recently have had a push down below this large spike down, taking out this previous liquidity from 430, pushing hard out of here. I did have a setup and a order entered here. We came down and I was watching this area after this high tick here, and we came in and put in this pretty large compression, which makes sense after we came back up to test the lower side of the range here with these bar lows from this initial supply push. Came down, retested where buyers were here, and low ticked here, and my idea was that if we couldn't push lower off of this low tick, I was going to wait for some kind of demand push here to get in. And so this 625 bar I entered long at 93, and I never got the fill. We only pushed back to 95, so this was as far as the pullback came, and obviously it worked out really nicely. My target on this trade was the 23 here below, up in to fill in this space and back into this untested supply here, and that was filled here pretty easily. So that was a plus 30 that I missed because I didn't get the fill. Definitely missed some fills because of not getting the pullbacks, but being where the stop had to be here below the low side of this. These buyers here would have to be at least 82, so 93 gave me an 11 tick stop. So 95 anywhere in there, but being where we've been pretty volatile lately, so taking bigger stops, 15 tick stops is pretty reasonable. And then it was just a perfect trade, and I was definitely wanted to be in this trade after this demand push up to here. We took out this previous, all of this supply here, so flipped the supply, put in the demand push, and at that point I was definitely looking to the bullish side. So it's all right. It's all right to miss one. Definitely right on the context read there, and then we came all the way up to 68. So basically a 100 tick rally since off this low. So get the next one. So we've opened up and we are back in range from yesterday. We've tested the lower side of value and rejected. It's kind of a difficult read here because we had this massive low tick of this low here, and when we pushed down below that, we had this really sharp reversal. So now it's a hard place to choose a direction right now, so just kind of going to wait and see what happens. But now we're also just kind of chopping around in the value area from the overnight session, which doesn't really bode very well for right now for being able to choose a direction from a context level, because we also have this large profile. We're stuck right in the point of control from the lower side of this profile. So yesterday was a kind of a double distribution profile area, and so we're right in that lower area here, and we've already tested the upper side of this value range, and we've rejected lower. So it's really kind of hard to say. Could go either way. Definitely had some large buyers coming in off the lows, but we also are in this untested pretty major supply as well. Took my first order, or my first long trade after the news release. That was after this. We pushed up into this, and we flushed this low on a low tick there, and I entered after this push here, and I entered at 51, and my area to take this trade off was at the 68 into this trouble. Kind of pushed up real quick on the dome, I had it in at 73, and that's where I got taken out on the trade. And so nice trade there. Happy with that. I think it definitely took 22 on that one, and we definitely could see it come up in to take out these highs and into the round number. But just trying to, anytime I'm in that plus 20 trade, I take it off. So I entered a long trade here, or an order anyway, after we had this low tick failure, had this demand push here, and I was watching for long trades ever since we came down and put in this low tick of this little range, and didn't quite take this out, but basically to the tick came down, pushed down below this range. So this was definitely a very aggressive, somewhat counter context long before the break of this high, but the issue with that trade is we have all of this untested supply, so that's not really a valid trade for me. But now I'm watching that to see what happens when we come up into this structure here, and we put in this range and pretty slow back and forth trade, and then a nice little demand push here. When we came back to revisit the origin of this demand, we get this low tick to push down, flush all of this liquidity below, and then push up. So for me, I'm definitely at that point looking for a trigger. And once we came up and put in this bar here, I had entered try to get back down to this 65 area. I think I actually entered at 66, and on this area we didn't quite get there, and I didn't get a fill. And then here we are, and we pushed higher, and I pulled my order as soon as we take out these highs here at 75. So that's no longer a valid trade for me, because if we high tick these highs and come down here, it's not really very valid. So now here we are. Where was my target? My target was up into this 84 area, into this trouble, these untested lows here, and then this LVN, this low volume node at 87 was my final target. So that looks like that's going to be hit. So I think I'm probably going to be done for the day. We're into the noon 12:30 time New York session, so it's getting pretty slow. That would have been another 20 tick win for me. I've only taken one trade today, so been a little bit slow. I've missed some fills and some other opportunities. So here we are. We're pushing well up into that area now. So we're coming up to test the origin of this supply here. So if we hold this upper edge of value, I would not be surprised at all that if we take all of this out and then come up and take out this high a day. And we can see this red box here is untested supply from this large move down in the pre-open. So that trade played out all of the upside expectations there. Unfortunately, I feel like I need to be a little bit more aggressive on my entries here because I missed the opportunity to. I've been trying to take these off at trouble, so 21 ticks minimum, but then expectation to have all of this taken out, and then this extremely fast vertical upside move. So upside target would have been 21 on a flush of the overnight highs and at this low volume node here. So 20 or 20, I suppose. So that's 50 ticks. So would I have held it for that? Hard to say, but this is a pretty fast vertical move. So if I survived above the push above the 83, there really were no pullbacks and just a straight vertical move. So I could have locked in probably 30 and then 40, and it still wouldn't have taken me out yet. So